Okay, give me just a sec. Give me just a sec. What if it's really supposed to be with you, baby? Happy Friday. So, happy Virgo season.
Co-sign your
That's so funny. Hey, happy Friday. Okay, well, you will. Every time. So, thank you. Happy Friday. And happy Virgo season. Like, who is that? I don't know. So, just now, I'm watching this like a series of clips from Paula Herlock, and she's a woman who I would consider like a master teacher from Jamaica, and she talked about, like I saw some time ago, maybe like last year, she talked about the meridian lines of Jamaica and why the people there have this energy about themselves that just like is a part of the culture. And hey, happy Friday and happy Virgo season. I'm not gonna say that every time, but she's talking about that, and she's talking about a few things. One thing that she mentioned was like, she's not talking about Virgo season though, but what I'm drawing from it is that a connection, because she's talking about like frequency and the things that elevate your frequency as opposed to the things that lower your frequency. And so she was talking about how our phones, like one thing, our phones, our tablets, television, the radio, like when you think about just being in the car growing up, like now, I barely listen to the radio. More than anything, I plug it into my phone to play music. But happy Friday. But when you like, you know, growing up, you're changing the station, you're, oh, so sweet. You're tuning the station, tuning the channel to a certain station, you're tuning into a certain frequency. Let me put that on, what's the name? You're tuning into a certain frequency. And so, when you think about Virgo, okay, so let me not go there yet. So you're tuning into a certain frequency. So just like you could be around somebody and you feel more energized after you talk to them, after an exchange, after an encounter. It could be something as simple as a hello, or just walking by a person, or being in their presence. That's why I'm so adamant about who's around. Happy Friday. Because like, I don't think just being around people just to be around them, I'm just not really that person. I've always been one to like enjoy my own space and company. I actually like myself. I don't want to say actually because that sounds judgy, but I like myself. I really enjoy myself as a person and who I am in my core and just how I exist in the world. And so I feel like if somebody's in my space, it's because I appreciate their presence. Like if I don't appreciate your presence, I might have to be around you just because of this, you know, the environment or a situation or what have you. But overall, if I don't appreciate your presence, it's not even, I'm not mad at you. I don't maybe even dislike you. It's just like, I just don't appreciate your presence. And why consciously involve yourself with people, things, even your own habits, you know, even though we're not perfect, you know, but still, as much as possible, that's something like really to pay attention to, because when we think about like our phones, our computers, our TVs, the music that we listen to, all these things emit certain frequencies. There's well, no, he says psychokinetic, but still, we have like these, you know, you have this, we're electric beings, and now more people are learning about Dr. Sebi and things like that, and talking about how foods that are alkaline help your body. People know about that you know, there's a whole spectrum and a scale that shows like how levels of like acidity or or alkalinity in something, especially in waters. Like now more people drink alkaline water. When I was growing up, I never heard about alkaline water until 2014. I didn't even know what something like organic was. I knew about like having an organic conversation or things like that. But in context of food, I had never heard that before. Until somebody said something like, something about organic fruit. And I'm like, what do you mean? It came from the earth. Isn't it all organic? And they were like, no. And then I end up learning later that that you can actually, in grocery stores, you can buy the organic label. So even though something may say organic, maybe it's not sprayed with certain insecticides or pesticides. Perhaps that's, definitely a possibility for sure. But if it's being sprayed with that water, the water that mists different fruits and vegetables and things at the grocery store, then it depends on like what things are in there. But anyway, that's a whole nother tangent. To stay on track, she was talking about frequency. And so even like when we listen to music, you have words, a message over a frequency. And so when you get in tune with that, that's why you have to be discerning, or why it's helpful and beneficial to be discerning with what you allow in, which brings me into Virgo season, because so many people, a lot of people, when they think about Virgo characteristics, they think about, somebody who is super critical or analytical and all of these things. But when you think about astrology and its connection to the body, like it's not just like, oh, everybody's the same as this. Granted, certain principles will be consistent due to certain times that you're born, It's just like, think about something as simple as like when somebody has a Christmas baby, right? Then that baby may love Christmas, and as long as they got gifts and things like that, maybe double gifts, but that kid may love Christmas, or you might call them a Christmas baby because they were born under that time. So they may be very joyous, or maybe there was a joyous celebration around their birth because of that time of the year and how people celebrate it. But anyhow, Virgo is in the body, as far as like the what it rules over in the body, what it governs, is the digestive system. And so every time you consume something, what happens in the body? Your body has to categorize different things. It has to analyze what's coming in. It tunes into what's coming in, and it's like, okay, is this beneficial to the body? Is this nutritious? What can I do with this? And then, hey, happy Friday, happy Virgo season, and happy belated birthday. I know Leo season just ended, but well, not ended, but we just transitioned, I should say, into Virgo season. But Virgo rules over, the digestive system. So, and that's so funny because literally, you just popped up. I had these books out, and this is a lot of the type of stuff that I learned, and how I met you, just in your such good food that has a high frequency, But Virgo rules over the digestive system. So a lot of people say that Virgos are Virgos are analytical and critical, but every time you consume something, what is your body doing? It's categorizing things, it's analyzing things, and thinking, okay, what is nutritious? Let me disperse that in what spaces. It's all about organization. Oh, that's so sweet. I love you too. And I love this photo. Your profile, the photo shoot that you had. Oh my goodness. But with Virgos, it has to diversify what it's being given and get rid of what's not. But if people now are talking about like probiotics and all these different things, digestive enzymes is something that now people are talking about, which is such a cool thing. But at the same time, if that space, people talk about your gut feeling. If your gut feeling is off, the rest of my pictures, as you should. If you think about like what's in your gut, what you're eating, what you're consuming, if that's like a bunch of acidic stuff, if you have acid reflux and things, that's because a lot of what you're consuming may be acidic, and then it's too much, so it's kind of coming back up and it's getting caught in the throat, especially like if you lay down and you're not in an angle, or if you go to sleep after a certain time, or just so many different things that can like bring that up and give you acid reflux. But I wanted to go back to the point I was making about Virgo season. Exactly, imbalances. That's the next sign, Libra, But she also mentioned like how our phone, that's what I was saying, our phones and all these things give off all these extra frequencies. So just think about, there was one time I was at work and I was talking to two different kids were talking to me at once. And I said, listen, I can't hear all of you guys at once. You guys are both like trying to get I can't hear. We're having this is a redundant exchange right now because I don't know what's being said because it's too much at once. If we're looking at our phones all the time, ironically, but you know, if we're, especially if like listening, like depending on what we're listening to, depending on what we're consuming, depending on the type of sleep that we're getting or not getting, that can all throw things off. And the more stress that we have, like now things like cortisol are being talked about and all these different things that are like what you said about these imbalances. And so then your gut feeling is off. You wonder why sometimes it's like, oh, you know, discernment can be off, or just our environment or our mind and all these different things. It's because of those imbalances within our digestive system. And so one thing about me, if you know me, my phone goes on airplane mode, and my Wi-Fi isn't in my bedroom anyway, but I unplug my Wi-Fi router every night. Well, sometimes I do, for like a couple of nights I have fallen asleep, more than a couple, but I've fallen asleep before I unplug it. But that's a part of my nightly ritual. Before I get in that bed, I go in the living room and unplug that Wi-Fi router, and I turn my phone on airplane mode. I don't have time to be around somebody that thinks I'm being sneaky because my phone is on airplane mode. My family knows. My mom, my cousin, they both have my location. They know. If I'm going to sleep, I'm turning that off. Because again, like while you're sleeping, she was just talking about how your heart and your mind are in tune with the earth while you're sleeping. And so if you're not getting enough sleep, or your sleep is off because you have a lot of stress or something, or you ate super late, or just different things. And not saying that it can only be something negative that wakes you up, but your heart and your mind are getting, that's the time, like when you're sleeping, to get in tune with the earth. And so that's why things like today in my stories, I was grounding lately, like even, was that yesterday or was that day before? It might have been yesterday and the day before. I don't know. But today and the last 2 days, and it's something leading up to Virgo season. It's something I do anyway. But lately I've been feeling even more drawn and called to like just go outside. And I learned like if you ground for like, I don't know if it's 19 to 22. It's somewhere in there. But I just go for 22. So I literally set a timer. Unless I have like a lot of time and I can just really be outside like I want to. At minimum, I'm like, this is not even want to say least, but this is one thing that I can commit to, especially right now. And living in Michigan, you know, it's about to be snowing outside, cold outside. Just the last few days, it was, you know, more cold outside lately. And now it feels, somebody said earlier, this guy was like, what did he call it? The fall of summer, because it's been like fall and summer in this week alone, which is Michigan. But anyhow, I've been feeling called to just ground more lately, you know, and not just physically, but doing the things that are more grounding. I realize, and I've heard this before, I guess, even growing up in church, like when you're outside of the will of God, like it's just like you have a covering, and it just feels so uncomfortable when you're outside of the will of God. And growing up, I learned that in a context that was very religious, that had certain rules, that came with shame if you were outside of the will of God, that came with judgment. A lot of ego was involved, and I don't want to just like harp on those things because it wasn't all bad stuff. It was also like, you know, being a good person or blah, blah, blah. But again, study to show thyself approved. It's so important. Happy Friday. It's so important because when you're doing the things that are pouring into your spirit and that are raising your frequency, like the things that you're eating, the things that you're listening to, your own habits and practices, the things that you tell yourself. You know, I was listening to, tuning in with something that Professor Melanie had said some time ago, and she was like, practice an abundance mindset. And that sounds like, duh, okay, like, you know, but it's like, I don't want to just be the person that is a certain way in theory. Like I have these great theories, just like, you know, shout out to all the people that are consistent in doing these podcasts. And I think so many topics that are being talked about now. Yes, listening to your, exactly. But it's where was I? Oh, doing the things that just naturally just feel good. Like, I know when I meditate, I know when I direct my day myself, when I get up and I go through my rise ritual. And sometimes, to be completely honest, I'm exhausted. And that's another thing, like, okay, what time are you getting to bed? You know, the discipline that's required to I don't want to say remain in the will of God, but just exist in love, exist, to have a higher vibration, however you want to say it, one thing that Kevin Gates reminded me of, and listening to him, like some of his interviews and things and tuning into those and even his music, he talks about, hey, happy Friday. He talks about, your body being your holy temple. Again, growing up, and not trying to like vilify anything that I learned in church growing up, because that's where I draw a lot of my foundation. Of course, it was reinforced and solidified and poured into and molded at home, but definitely going to church just expanded that for me, But studying to show thyself approved is so very important, because that's what it means about you having to know God for yourself. And that's why, like, comparison, it can be so unhealthy, because we're looking at this person or judging their decisions, or even who they're voting for or who they're not voting for, or even if they vote, or what they're eating. Oh, you should be a vegan, you should be a vegetarian, you should be a pescatarian. Oh, I'm more conscious or have a higher vibration or whatever, because, or better energy, happy Friday, because my hair is in locks, or because I don't wear makeup, or because, I'm this religion, or I wear these types of clothes, or I have these degrees, or I have this much money in the bank. And it's like, so often comparison just is so divisive, because it's like, you were called to be who you were called to be in your complete authenticity. I was about to say something else. Your full self, your most courageous self, your most creative self, your best self is in being true to who you are. And if we say, like, okay, you're made in the image of God, that means the way that you were designed to be and what you were designed to do is specific to you for a specific reason. And that's why having Virgos in your life is such a beautiful gift, because, in all seriousness, like, we have such a genuine heart, and it's not that we're trying to put anybody down or be critical or point out so many different flaws and things, or make you feel inadequate, or like you have to be, perfect or whatever. But it's like, I see your best, and I want to encourage those things. And sometimes that can be, I've had people in my life where it's like, ooh, I got to be this version if I'm around this person, or maybe I procrastinate in this area, or perhaps, there's fear in that area, or there's projections rooted in insecurity or comparison for me in that area. And because of that, being around somebody who is excelling, thriving, confident, comfortable, fluid, expressive, direct, in those areas, sometimes it can be unsettling. And that's why comparison really does suck. And I'm not acting like I don't do it, or I've never done it, or I won't do it in the future. But it's cool. It's really nice when you can check in with yourself, because, again, study to show thyself approved, and you have to, not you have to, but it's so beautiful and beneficial to know God for yourself. Because in getting to know God for myself, I'm like, oh, when I go outside and I ground, when I meditate, when I read. I had my book in the car earlier and I was reading some until I got a phone call. But just what I was reading is so funny. I crossed paths with this guy, and what he had to say was exactly like literally the chapter I was reading, and it was so beautiful. I know, like, when I get up and I go through my rise ritual and I do certain things. When lately I've been drinking cucumber water a lot, or, when I drink, warm water and lime when I get up, or, when I just take a moment to be intentional. I felt like I didn't have the time to sit and be outside today, and I almost was about to rush away, and I was like, I'm setting this alarm. I'm setting this alarm for 22 minutes because I want to, I think I'm wearing my hair like parted like that. But I want to, that's something that's important to me, because it elevates my vibration. And grounding, but it could be your hands. You can be in a garden. You can put your hands in the ground. You can put your feet in the ground, and just get outside and just soak up some vitamin D that's free. Get outside. When you ground your feet, at the first Breeze Utopia, that's what I was encouraging people to do. We had our shoes up at all of them, really, except for the second one because it was indoors. But I walk around with my bare feet because it's just encouraging more of that. The Virgo is an Earth sign, and it isn't always a bad thing either. It's all about perspective and where we are in certain places in our life. We may use comparison as a form of motivation or something else. I like that. See, again, a different perspective. Implement better habits. It just depends on the person. You should come on here. Yep. And you know what? I like that perspective a lot because I like that. I think. Oh. I was about to say I didn't hit accept like 2 times. Hey!
Nah, I love you, and I'm only doing this for you.
I love you. I was like, you know what? Talk about that some more because I'm like, when I thought what you said, I really, really like that perspective because, okay, just go ahead.
So what I mean by like comparison, yesterday I was in a class and I was showed a level that I was on and the levels that was above me, and it was so many levels above me, but I didn't get down and I didn't get upset. I'm like, oh shoot, I'm about to hurry up and get up there. Like I'm about to climb a ladder. You can just see it as a way of where you can
Yeah.
go, like the levels of where you can reach. Not that you're down. Like you're never a down person. It's just about your perspective. If you're choosing to say, you know what, I'm at level 5 and I got it's in the levels of all these 10, and you like, oh man, I'm at level 5. This sucks. I thought I would be better than that. Like, yo, you're at level 5. You only have 5 more to go. You know,
Yeah.
and that's how you know like where somebody is at in their life. And there's nothing wrong with being pessimistic. We may use that also just to ground ourselves into reality. Like, dang, I'm at level 5 and I'm 45. I should be better.
Yeah.
Or shoot, I'm at level 5 and I'm 4.
Yeah.
You may have very spiritual parents, or you may have very lucrative parents in that case, or you may have had a different upbringing when it comes to culture and religion, and you should probably be somewhere better. But why is it a should? Why can't you just be? Why can't you just
Yeah.
be you in your space in life and give yourself grace and say, I'm where I am, and I'm not dead. I'm not over here wounded. I can wake up every day and walk and talk and breathe and eat and feed myself, and I have electricity. Like, I really wish that we would all just take a moment and just be like, I'm alive. Like, that's the only comparison you need to have. I'm not dead. you know,
Yeah.
because it can always be worse. It can always be worse. And if you want to compare something and use it as a negative, use it as a negative to motivate yourself. Okay, this person is 5 feet tall. I could probably get a couple more inches if I did more yoga, if I did more stretching. Finding
That's
ways
real.
to better yourself, but not look at it as if you're not good enough, but look at it as if this is somewhere I can be better. Like, if I do this, I'll be even better than I am right now because I'm already great.
Ooh. Ooh.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I just literally been beating cancer's ass. Excuse my language. Well, I beat cancer's
Yeah.
ass, and I mean that wholeheartedly. And if you take offense to that, then you're not seeing the forest for the trees at all. you know, and the whole process, I made sure 98% of the time that I kept a positive mindset when I could have been like, you know what, this is hard. People be dying from this stuff, and I might die from this. And no, why even entertain that energy? Why even entertain the negative when we know what negative is and what it can lead to? And if you're not using negativity as a form of motivation or to handle some things, like ain't nothing wrong with getting bad when you got to get bad now. Like if somebody acting a fool, ain't nothing wrong with getting a little angry, a little devilish to handle some problems that need to be handled. And I'm I, I came on here just to say, one, I'm extremely proud of you because where you were when I first met you was already phenomenal, but who you are now is even greater, and that's a comparison right there. You know what I'm saying? Like,
You did that so smooth. And that's the comparison right there.
you know what I'm saying? Like, you are so beautiful then, but you are gorgeous now. Like, you owning your energy, you walking in your power, you walking in your light.
I
Like,
receive it.
and you, as a Virgo, and people, what people have to understand when it comes to astrology and these signs, we're all Virgos.
Mm-hmm.
We all have Virgos in our charts and in our life and in our body. Virgo rules the digestive system. That's a Virgo thing right there. You're a Virgo because of that, you know. Being detailed, they may not be as detailed as a person who has a sun sign in Virgo, but they still are analytical in some areas. They might be more analytical when it comes to, you know, food, or when it comes to, you know, ratchet TV shows, or when it comes to anything. You know, everybody has it somewhere,
Yeah.
but I just don't care for the fact that we have all been just damaged to a degree when it comes to this whole the horoscopes. Like, Virgo's bad because of this, and Leo's bad because of that. Everybody got good and bad. Who cares? Who cares? Why do you care that much about other people? Care more about yourself and how divine you are, how amazing you are, how beautiful you are. Like, these bodies we have are just tools to be used. Our souls are way more important. Our souls are way more important, man. And when I tell you, when I was in that, when I was doing chemo and I was going in that place on a regular basis and seeing all those white people looking old and decrepit and ready to clock out, and I'm the only light walking in there like, hey y'all, how y'all doing? We ready to get this chemo to kill this cancer? You know, let's go, let's go, let's go. And they all like, and I don't care. Every day I'm walking in there being me. Because I'm not about to die from no cancer. What is cancer compared to a God? You know, for everybody that's Christian, if you made in God's image, why you not treating yourself like God? Is you crazy? You over here eating Oreos on a regular basis talking about, yeah, I'm a God. Where is the balance? Where is the balance? You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to create balance in our life and be consistent with it, because if we don't, that's when disorder and shit happens, honestly, you know. That's why, you know, I had to learn lessons I learned because I wasn't balancing my energy when it comes to emotional things. You know, I can be amazing and nurturing to everybody else and even to myself sometimes. But the universe and God was like, I'm going to take this tool from you so you can learn how important it is to nurture yourself. Because the rest is used to nurture life. And that's what I learned from that. I'm like, oh, I wasn't nurturing myself emotionally. I wasn't loving on myself properly, and I should have been, because if I'm not good, how am I love anybody else? You know what I'm saying? And you have been a perfect, if from my perspective, you know, I've only seen you go up. I've only seen you elevate. I've never seen you, even when I felt that you were going through something on certain days, you still was just, hey sis, you know. And probably the same thing with me, you know. It's just like, hey, sis, I love you, because we give love, we share love. Why would I give you anything else but that? You know, you deserve nothing but love until you give me another reason not to. And I would hope that nobody would give me a reason not to, because baby, I know how to handle some things. You know, I definitely was trained by some of the best. You know, we learn kill styles, one move and you out. You know, so I rather love you first, always. You know.
When I tell you, when I was thinking earlier, it's been so many things that you've said, and it's my heart is so full, and my heart has been full all day. And this
Excellent.
is just another reflection of just that joy that's really been. But I commanded that earlier. A part of my rise ritual was setting the tone of my day and commanding my day and commanding my peace in the day. And not like, okay, this is going to happen. But it was like I said earlier today, I said I'm going to have beautiful interactions. One thing that I say every day is I allow myself to be an active participant in miracles on my behalf and on the behalf of
Wow.
others. I said, everybody that I come in contact with, they're going to feel better leaving, as I will, because I don't want people just feeling good when they walk away from me. I want to feel good too. I don't want to just be like, oh, I feel terrible.
Absolutely.
But you have this, you first of all, the sun is hitting you perfectly right now.
Oh, I have
Okay.
to come straight to the light because I'm in my room putting up these groceries I got from Trader Joe's. I'm on my Virgo stuff right now. I'm being
Listen.
detailed and analytical when it comes to certain things.
Okay.
So I was like, let me get in this sun so
You're
I can see my
beaming
truth.
right now. And
Well,
it's so beautiful. And I receive, and it's something because literally I was watching Paula and that's how the video started. She was like this is different clips of like different interviews and talks of hers. And one of the first ones she was saying, she said, I forget her age, but she was saying how some of her peers financially, materialistically, um, socially are further ahead, seemingly further ahead. But she's like, she chose this life and she's content and she's satisfied with where she is because she's where she's supposed to be and all that she's doing. You know what I'm saying? Right now, she talks about Jamaica and it being on these meridian lines and how there's a certain energy there of the
Yep.
people. And she's
Yep.
where she should be. So someone that may not understand that would look and say, hey, she's not where she should be. She's this age. Why doesn't she? And as a Virgo, so much of my life was judging myself and being critical and hard on myself and not
Yep.
thinking I was good enough and feeling subservient to the version of myself that I thought that I should be. And I'm telling you, I start going through things. I did not get my college degree. I am very intelligent. Okay. I love
Absolutely. Cars
school.
don't mean nothing.
I'm
It's a
always
step.
reading. I'm always learning. I love to learn, you know? But at the same time, what was tangible, what was able to validate me in my ego, because growing up, I was the kid in church that's taking my report card up to the front, you know, honor roll, being on the International Baccalaureate program until they lost the funding for that, advanced classes since I was in third grade. But I had to go, my path was just different, you know?
Absolutely. It's yours.
And
Everybody got their own path.
everybody. But I love what you had to say about comparison because so much of my life, and it's still something I'm working through. I'm not, you know, it's still evolving. I'm still growing as we all are.
Everybody. We
Everybody.
also have moments where it's up. I was telling my sister last night, I said, I know that everybody think I'm doing excellent, and I am, but don't get it twisted, baby. It takes a lot of work for me to be where I am right now.
Yeah.
Every single day,
Yeah.
I'm in constant pain, even with the medication I'm in. I just had surgery,
Mm.
not even 5 hours ago, and I
Wow.
was wide awake for it. And I just sat there and handled it like a G, because what I'm do, it gotta happen, you know.
Mm.
And I tell people, like, you decide what you want.
Yeah.
You are the commander in chief of your life, and you dictate all of this. And if you allow somebody else to dictate your life, you gave up. You gave up. And it could be somebody, something, a drug, a habit, just a situation, whatever it is. People need to really start taking more accountability, man, because the more we start doing that, the better this world gonna be.
Yeah.
I promise you, because my feet swollen every day. I'm walking every day. I drive every day. I apologize.
Mm.
But I'm choosing actively to say I don't care about none of that. This has to get done, and I'm going to be the person that chooses to make sure it
Yeah.
happens. You know, and yeah, we're supposed to be in another place. I'm about to be 30 years old next year, and I don't allow the pressures of life to get to me. I don't look 30. I don't feel 30, and I just had
Okay.
cancer. I feel amazing. I feel like a dang on kid still. But my life is so great. I don't even have a car, but I got a car. I don't even got a house, but I'm in a home. I own my own house, but I'm not in my own house, but I'm in a home. I'm in my home. I'm living in a peaceful environment. I don't have a car, but I'm driving every day.
Mm.
You know, I don't have a bill, but I got lights and gas and I got food. I don't have a job, but I always have some money coming to
Mm.
me. Me and the universe, me and God
Mm.
have a awesome relationship. Do you hear me? I literally a month ago, when I fell down the stairs and I skinned my knee, and everybody like, throw them shoes where they made you fall. Because I got some Timu shoes. I just needed some shoes from right then and there. I ain't care. Girl, and Timu and Shein be getting my little cash when people be asking me when I'll be getting my little money. Okay?
Allie,
Yeah.
Allie, can I tell you? I just went to Atlanta for the gathering of the masters, right?
Mm-hmm.
As I'm coming down Stone Mountain, first of all, before I went up, I took a photo of the trail, like, you're at the trail, blah blah blah. I didn't read it. I took a photo of it. I went on up. I'm like, I'm gonna take photos when I'm at the top, blah blah blah. On the way down, I go down. Of course, there's gravity is pulling you down, and all that stuff. I didn't fall. I slid because of my cheap Timu sandals. Okay, that look cute. They look like you can
Looks
go
so
hiking in
cute.
them. Baby,
Yeah.
they're not for that.
No.
They're not for that.
Aces in
And
eight
what did
places.
I do?
Aces in eight places.
I slid as I'm coming down, because first of all, it's a mountain, it's a trail, it's a slope. Okay, it's rocky, it's dirt all over the
Yeah,
place.
that's not meant for those.
Slid, I didn't fall, I slid. And where did I land? On my knee and skidded up my knee. And my knee is bleeding. Now I wasn't in pain. It was just like, okay, I gotta be real careful
Yeah,
going down. And I still got this. I still got to get down this mountain.
right.
Okay, what I'm gonna do? Stop. All I had in my little fanny pack was tissue. So I got the little Kleenex square. I dabbed it a
You
couple times,
handled it.
and I went on down the mountain. And
Yep.
that's so funny that you said that, because we're gonna talk offline. But I wanted to tell you, when you first were diagnosed and everything, you shared that online.
Uh-huh.
I saw it from a Pillar and Pride post.
Yeah.
And it was like you were cooking something. I didn't read the post. I saw the post like you were doing a dinner or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
I just saw the post and just assumed, oh, she's on her stuff, she's doing whatever. She's doing like a vendoring or pop-up or something like that, because I know you would have food there anyhow.
Right.
Maybe a month or so later, I see a post and I'm like, what?
Right.
What?
How the heck
Years
did this
ago in
happen?
2020, say it again.
You said, like, how this happen? But
How
go
does
ahead.
In
Right.
2020, there's a guy I follow. His name is on here. Dang, I cannot think of his. No, Jason. It's something like that. It's Jahsun, if I'm not mistaken. He's a Leo too. He has long locks. He does like what is it? Like intimacy work and different things like that.
Oh, I think I know what you're
Super,
talking about.
super,
Okay.
super cool.
Yeah.
So during 2020, he caught everything that was going on, and he's health guru, all type of movements and things to loosen up your hips and to be fluid and all these things. And I'm thinking, how, like, that doesn't make sense to me.
Right.
But it's something how, just like you said, comparison is like, it's crazy. But at the same time, sometimes we think that we're above certain things, that we're not susceptible to certain things. Certain
Yeah.
things, how can that happen to her? And even people on the outside looking in, it's like, how can that happen to her though? There's some things that
Exactly.
I'll be bringing forth in time, but all of what you said, it resonates so deeply, and there is so much power. And I was talking to somebody today, the same power that is within me also lies within you, which lies within everybody. And
Yeah.
it's a beautiful thing when people can tap into it, because when I tell you, my heart and my spirit have been overflowing with so much joy and so much love today. And I'm so grateful. And I've been having the most beautiful exchanges and conversations and interactions. And that's just my normal. But also, there have been so many things please tell me you saw the newest Planet of the Apes movie?
I haven't. No, I
Oh,
haven't even. You know what? I've been very selective about my encounters in the
I
places I choose
understand.
to go,
Okay.
and because I'm still on a deep healing journey, and just to give an answer to the question that nobody asked, but when I was diagnosed, they could not find a reason why this happened. There wasn't oh yeah, this happened because it's hereditary. No, there was no. I that test came back negative for being hereditary. It didn't come from the blood. It didn't come from stress. It didn't come from my diet. It didn't come from any of that. This is something that had been manifesting in my life because I was choosing to actively neglect nurturing myself,
Mm.
because that's the only thing that made sense. If I didn't get it no other way, in spirit is like, oh, you didn't take care of yourself. Yeah, you thought you was taking care of yourself, but did you actually check in emotionally with yourself? You know what I'm saying? But I do want to go see that movie, and I probably am going to go see it once these masks come in, because I have to wear a certain mask when I'm out.
Mm-hmm.
I do now, mind you, I'm extremely healthy, but I've been on tip about certain things, especially with this these new variants coming out. Like, people thinking that COVID is gone. COVID is not gone, baby.
Mm-hmm.
It's just different variants of it popping up more and more. We just don't care. That's all that is. People saying, forget it. I'm gonna live my life regardless, which is fine. You should. You shouldn't let nothing stop you from living your life. But I definitely am waiting for these new masks to come out. I just ordered them because the mask that I got, I was not being the Virgo self, and I threw them away
Mm-hmm.
on accident.
No, it just
But
wasn't time for you to be around in certain areas just
yeah,
yet. That's it.
because I only go to certain places and certain restaurants in certain areas. Like, I'm going to the beach for the first time this Sunday, and
That's so
I
good.
need to go. I asked my doctor at radiation, like, what's the rules about me going
Yeah.
to get radiated, about me going to the beach? Well, you got to cover up, when you go out there because of the sun. I'm like, The sun is healing to me, baby. I'm black. Like, even with me getting radiation, I'm supposed to, my left breast is supposed to look like an irritated, disgusting piece of skin. Sweetie, this thing is regular. Okay.
Regular,
Regular, regular, glistening like it's been dipped in chocolate. Melted chocolate. Okay, I am grateful. And it's because I use all natural stuff, man. You got to be picky and analytical and use your discernment and use comparison when it comes to putting things in your body. And I only use Blue Lotus Essentials on my skin. Well, I use Blue Lotus Essentials and Dr. Bonner's. Let me not lie. I use those two. But even she knows that, like, I do use Dr. Bonner soap. That's my thing. And I'm just now trying a different type of soap called Native, only because it was all natural.
Is that in
And
that
baby, it smells so
white
good.
bottle and it's like written
Yep,
vertically?
yep,
Okay.
vertical. Yep, it smells so good. It's called peachy nectar.
Okay.
Oh my god.
First of all, you just sold it like that. Oh my god.
Oh my goodness. If this was a woman, I would love to hug her. That's how good it smells.
Ooh.
I said, oh, I want to smell like this. I need this. Like, let me go ahead and put this in my thing. And it was on sale too. And that's why I say it's so important to listen to Spirit, because Spirit told me to go to the store, and I didn't want to go to the store and then somebody had just sent me $100 on Apple Pay.
See?
So I didn't have to use any of my little Cash App money.
And got two.
I got one because I was being conservative. Okay. I'm like, because what if I don't like it? I like the way it smells. What if I don't like the texture? I don't like my skin. Don't like it.
Now, which one did you get?
I got the peachy native, the soap. I got the soap. I definitely would recommend trying it, but honestly, I'm gonna give it to
big on peach. Not saying it doesn't smell good, but I'm like, I wonder. I've never tried native stuff.
I haven't been big on peach either. Like, I just started trying it because my best friend was like, my favorite fruit is peaches. I said, really? I said, let me see why. I said, oh, I see why. But she likes white peaches. She don't like the yellow peaches, and the white peaches taste better. And I've only known yellow peaches all my life, and I'm about to be 30. Like, and I'm so grateful because every time I think about my age, I'm like, age is an illusion, baby. We just here.
Because I'm about to be 31. I was thinking about my
girl,
age.
You look like you're 16, yo. Like, if I take out these little lashes and these eyebrows, baby, I look a whole kid. I just sound like somebody old ass auntie.
First of all, that's what I thought earlier. You not old ass, but you do sound. But it's
the spirit.
That exactly. It just makes you feel like you're at home. It's so real. It's so raw. It's so authentic. It's so beautiful. It's so radiant. Like, you are so radiant right now, and I'm telling you. Yeah.
I mean, I be out here trying to do some things, loving on myself and being on my routine, being on my Virgo things, you know. And I can't wait to invite you to the house when I get done redecorating.
Yes.
Because you're going to really experience what it means to be in the presence of Mac. Because y'all only had the food. Because I'm going to be having like personal intimate events in my backyard. Like, it's going to be at minimum 15 people. Max, I'm going to do 20. And we're going to have nice course meals. And it's going to be, invite only. You can't buy your way in. You cannot. And people are going to be trying to buy their way in. It's invite only. And the minimum donation is going to be $20. But what you're going to be experiencing is going to be like $100 plates. Look at that.
I used to bring home your pans of lasagna.
I remember.
And get those soups. Oh my God. I would go home. I would tell my family, I said, her grandmother was blind and taught her how to cook.
Yes, ma'am. And you know what was so disheartening? Me and my grandmother, we were so close. And because of this situation, we ain't even, she can't even be in my life anymore. I had to use my discernment, and as much as I love and honor and respect my grandma, I still do every Saturday. Because Saturday is ruled by Saturn, the planet Saturn, and that's also Ancestor Day. And while my grandmother is still alive, I still choose to use that day as a day to honor her. Like, Grandma, I know you're not in my life, on an intimate basis, but because I can't have you in my life, but I'm still gonna honor the fact that because of your existence, I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you can still do that with people. You don't have to have people don't have to be in your life for you to love them and honor them. Like, baby, please. I didn't cut my mom off so many times
Okay.
because she didn't want to honor and respect me as an individual and a human being and an adult. Honey, I love you because you brought me here, but I don't need you. I don't. Only person I need in this life is myself. You know, and that's not me being shallow. That's not me being conceited. That's not me being, mean or, being disrespectful or anything like that. Because I still respect my mother just because you're the reason I'm alive.
Right.
I'm gonna always respect you and love you, but I love myself more every time. I'm gonna always choose me, and you
Every
should choose
time.
you too, every single time. Whenever somebody come at you wrong or they know how to, and they know your boundaries, and they're choosing to go the opposite way, baby, choose you. Go the other way every time, because they're gonna continue to do that because that's what you're gonna allow them to do. And why allow them to not love you? Because that's choosing not to love you. I told you this is my boundary, and you're choosing to, you know, intercede and disrespect the boundary I placed there. It's a line for a reason. You gonna step over it? Oh, okay. Like, you either go catch these hands or I'm gonna just cut you off. And a cut off ain't gonna never be disrespectful. It's just you might not ever hear from me again. You might not ever see me again in an intimate space unless, I won't even say unless, because my spirit guides and my ancestors don't play about me, baby. You would never be in my space again if you ain't meant to be, you know. And that's just and that's because I love myself, and by loving myself, I love my ancestors. I love my spirit guides. I love those that come after me, and those that came before me. And that's one of the highest ways you can honor them is by loving yourself to the
Ooh.
supreme. One thing a really good friend used to say to me, supreme self love is a way of life. It's just not just a hashtag. That's a way of life.
Mm-hmm.
You should always be choosing to love yourself supremely. You
That's
know.
exactly when I started. I was talking about being in the will of God, or
Yeah.
viewing your body as a holy temple, or standing in love, or elevating your frequency, or being in tune with the universe. However you look at it, however you consume, when you're in that space, when you're being authentic, I'm telling you, it's a different
Unstoppable.
space, because every time you step outside of that, every time you dishonor yourself, every time you consciously, sometimes you don't have an awareness about something, and everybody that does you bold is not a
No.
villain. It's like, thank you, because you helped me to bring all this stuff up to the surface, so maybe I could pop off, or maybe I could, establish a boundary, or maybe I could learn to honor myself, or maybe just like my knee, just like with the cancer, just like things that I had been going through myself. A lot of times when I go through things, I have to shut it down, because as a Virgo, I'm telling you, it takes energy to be grounded.
Oh,
It takes
okay.
energy to be grounded.
Yes, you gotta
Okay,
choose, because I'm choosing to release all this into the earth, and that's
it,
not easy.
it's not
It's
easy at
not
all.
easy letting go, but
Mm-mm.
we are actively choosing to make it easy because you do
Yes,
it every day. When you
yeah.
do it every day, you make it a habit, you make it a lifestyle, and it's like breathing. And that's why people are like, oh, you make it look so easy, baby, because I choose to make it easy. But trust me, it was very hard. But the operative word was.
Mm-hmm.
It's not
And
easy.
it's like learning not to be hard on yourself, by learning
Babe,
to honor yourself, learning to love yourself. It is not easy, but doing it, putting the work in, having the discipline, when you do get back to that space again and you start doing it again, building awareness. That's why I tell people it doesn't matter about the time all the time, or I don't believe in mistakes. I just took the scenic route. There were things I needed to see when I walked over that way, when I made that mistake, when I kept letting you go over the line, even though I started to build an awareness about it finally. And then I started to build an awareness, and I said, I want to implement this boundary, but I don't know how to say it. Or I want to implement this boundary, but the last time I went off on somebody, or I cut into them, or I dog walked them, and I don't want to do that this time.
right.
And I'm trying to put in peace, and I don't know how to do that yet. So I'm just going to
I
be
can't even
quiet.
see you dog walking somebody. You probably feel like a whole different energy. But we all multifaceted. This the thing that I really love about you and myself is that we are choosing to be multifaceted people,
Okay.
and people do not realize that just because you seeing me being different versions of myself don't mean it's not different versions of you. That's
Okay.
not me being fake or phony.
Okay.
That's just you seeing another version of me, but I'm still me. It's just a version of it. Just like water. You got water, we got ice, we got sea, we got water has different phases of itself.
Okay.
Why are you
And it could be calm, and it could be in a nice little stream or fountain, or it could be a tsunami.
okay,
Which one you want?
baby, exactly. Or it can be a waterfall. You choose.
Which one?
You're choosing it. We choose it every time we choose to respond or react or engage. It's always up to us. Always. You know. And I was telling somebody, I'm like, man, I knew about this stuff years before it became an issue, and it's because I chose a certain route, and I chose that route, not learned from it. It wasn't the best route. Straight holistic is not always the best route for certain things, and while people who are holistic teachers, they have a lot of preventative things. Cancer isn't a preventative thing when it's already actively working. You know what I'm saying? But when it's not, when it's benign and it's something that can be molded and shifted with energy work and other means of like food and stuff like that. But when it's already active, you gotta do both, baby. And that's why I was trying to tell people, like, oh my God, I never thought you would ever do chemo. You thought I wanted to do chemo? Did you not see what I went through? Did you not see that titty, baby? Is you crazy? You thought that, oh yeah, I'm gonna just eat some sea moss and some flower sop and this gonna get better. Yeah, that's gonna work. By yourself? Are you serious? Come
You've
on
been a
now.
meme at least a good 2 or 3 times with these faces.
I'm just saying. Look, I got Aquarius in my fifth house. I'm a weirdo, so it's gonna be entertaining to a degree, especially when it comes to social media. Okay. And that's why people keep telling me I need to be an influencer. I said, baby, I don't even like that word. I don't like to influence people. I like to come to somebody. I like engaging with people, and when they, like you said, when we lead this conversation, you should be better.
I already am.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I was at Trader Joe's not even an hour ago, and I saw a white dude walking by, and he looked at like he was annoyed by it. I said, you look so good and so dope. You look so cool. And he went from looking like to, and when he saw, after we left talking or whatever, he saw me again. He said, hey, bye, friend. I said, bye, friend. I can't wait to see you again. He was smiling that story the whole time. My whole thing is that when I'm interacting with people, I'm just here to light you up some more. Your flame was already going. I just want to see it beam some more. I just want to see it go up a little bit more. That's it. You can be good when you met me. I just want to see you even greater when you leave me. Because if I don't do that for you and you don't do that for me, we shouldn't be having this interaction at all. Okay. At all, because that means this is a deficit, and I'm not living in deficit mode at all. I ain't living deficit when I had cancer, so I'm not about to live it down. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all never saw me, like, you can even ask my family. It was very rare that you saw me, like, sad. Like, you might have saw me, like, in pain and in discomfort, but sad. And like, oh, my life is so bad. I got cancer. This shit is gonna kill me. Girl, bye. Why would I do that to myself? I see what it does to people. And I'm like, cancer wasn't the thing that hurt me. It was chemo. Chemo is terrible. That's like using a monster to kill a monster, and they got a bazooka when they had a pistol. I'm like, wait a minute. Cancer only got a pistol, baby. This is y'all. Y'all about to use a bazooka to kill it. You gonna hurt me, nigga. Calm down. Calm down. And I really had to have a conversation now, and I had to advocate for myself in these medical fields, because they will literally keep pushing and pushing and pushing chemo until because it's so much money. You know how much money, you know how much it costs for one thing of chemo? $25,000 for one bag of liquid. It's $25,000.
And how often are you doing that, or were you doing that?
Depending on who it is, I was getting it every week.
Once a week, 25,000.
Once a week, 25,000. I got it from October until, when did I stop? Maybe like mid-June. Honey. Every week. And you telling me you want me to choose not to live in joy when I gotta fight two monsters? I gotta fight chemo and cancer? Because people think, oh yeah, the chemo gonna help, baby. This shit will have you feeling like a zombie. Will have you feeling like shoot, I'd rather just deal with the cancer. Because the chemo is just so devastating, and just no.
Mm.
And I still chose to do that with my holistic measures. I was still drinking my soursop juice every day, sea moss every day, and doing my teas every day. I was doing all that in combination, and energy work and getting energy work from Monica and Don, and you know how powerful they are, you
Mm.
know. And I definitely will say, if I didn't have them in my corner as my teammates with this, baby, I'd be a goner. Okay, my ancestors had my back, especially my grandma, because I wouldn't have insurance without my grandma. I promise you. I called on her, and 10 minutes later, the insurance people called me. Was like, Miss Thompson, we heard that that you thought you didn't have any insurance. It's active now. I'm like, I went and looked up at. I was in the car. My dad had. We just drove up from my house. I just left from my office and talked to my grandma, and I looked up. I looked back, and I was like, Grandma, thank you, wherever you at right now, because you obviously got my back. Cause I'm like, Grandma, I'm tired of this. I'm sick of this. I need you to handle this. My grandma, a Capricorn, Earth sign. Y'all don't play no games. Some Earth signs are very analytical. They get straight to
Mm.
business, baby.
Mm.
Okay? Earth signs don't play. I love y'all. I love me an Earth sign. Cause y'all so structured, and y'all so just, when it comes to this Earth stuff, y'all know how to handle it very well. Very well. You know, I know how to be. I'm a motivator. I'm an amplifier. I'm a
You
influencer.
are.
You know, but
It's just like this light beam that you have, and you just beam people up, and it's just so authentic. It's so consistent. Because one thing that you notice, especially when you're around people over time, is like, okay, you can have different facets of yourself. You can have different expressions that show up around different people, and that's fine. But at the core,
exactly.
when somebody's spirit is the same, every time you're around them, yeah, maybe today they might be a little bit more quiet. Maybe next time, they're more outgoing. Maybe next time, but when I say it's been consistent, it's so consistent. And it's like I've noticed one thing in Leos where there's this I don't want to say a subtle confidence, because it's not subtle, but it's also not like, hey, I'm confident, but it's this like, I'm trying to think of a word. I don't know. It's such this dynamic energy about Leos, but I notice
Some of them
when it's
own it.
more,
We just own it.
you own
We
it. And it's in
it's just
such a
about ownership.
beautiful like way that it makes other people like, hey, I could
I can
I
do
could
this
own
too.
that too.
Yeah, that's how it's supposed to be. That's why I say it's always Leo season, because Leos are governed by the sun, and that thing beam every day. So why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I beam in your life, or why wouldn't I want you to beam in mine? You
Mm.
know, we said that's how it's supposed to go. You know, and I had to remind myself that, yeah, the sun does provide life and nourishment all every day, all day. But I'm not the sun, baby. I'm not about to be nurturing you all day, every day. I'm gonna nurture me all day, every day, for sure. But I can't nurture you all day, every day. That's not my job. That's your job.
That's your job.
I'm just here. If I'm with you, just know it's gonna happen.
Yep.
If you receive it, if you receive
Your
it,
mannerisms, like what you're saying is over, but your mannerisms are the best part, because it's like, just know it's gonna
I'm just
happen.
being me. I don't know how to be nothing else. I don't know how to be nothing else
Oh,
at all. And I'm learning how to be even more authentically me, by letting go of that people pleaser stuff, man.
yes.
Like, oh my goodness. But we could be on here all day,
All day.
and I did promise my sister that I would be ready for her at 5 o'clock after I took my nap. And I don't need no nap, because I got powered up by talking to you.
Same.
You
But
know?
listen, I did want to say, I'm gonna text you. I'm gonna
Yeah.
text you. Okay. Well, I love you so much. Thank you so
I
much
love
for
you
sharing,
too. Thank you
clicking
for
on here
allowing me to
today.
be in this space. Thank
Yes.
you for allowing me to commune with you, and
Yes.
to love on you and love on these people with you. You
Yes.
know, it's always a blessing when I see you, sis.
Thank-
I promise. I can't wait to text you.
Okay. Okay. All right. I'll talk to you. Oh, that was so beautiful. That was so so beautiful. My cheeks are my cheeks are sore from smiling. Um, but yeah. Welcome to Virgo season, and it's so funny. A Leo and a Virgo. We're literally transitioning into Virgo season from Leo season, which will then transfer into Libra season, which is all about balance. Um, and that was so beautiful. And I'm telling you, I've had the most beautiful exchange. I mean, I always do. I met a guy today, and he was like, wow. He was like, you know, he was like thanking me for our encounter, and he was like, it was just such a nice conversation. Like, I really enjoyed our conversation. He was like, I don't have conversations like this much. And I'm thinking, wow. He was like, usually some people are like, people are so surface and all that. And I'm like, man, those types of conversations are just normal for me. And I'm so grateful for that. And if you're watching this now or at some time in the future, in another moment, I maybe you have that too. Because I'm telling you, when you're around good people, it's such a miracle. It feels so good to be around good people, to commune with good people, to interact with good people, to cross paths with good people. You know, one thing that I was thinking about earlier that I really, really appreciate are the people in my life, but also the people that I can just be, well, not, I don't want to say be myself around, but the people who reflect a space that allow for authenticity and just genuineness. And when your heart, like, I appreciate being able to move throughout life with an open heart, which is why having discernment is super critical to that, because you can have an open heart and be like what some people would say is naive. It's just not having boundaries. And there was a point in my life where I didn't have boundaries. There was a point in my life where I thought I had boundaries, but I didn't, even with myself, and saying, okay, what will I allow of myself, you know? And there are some things that I definitely will be sharing. Now is not the moment for all of that though. But man, that conversation was beautiful for so many reasons. And I'm just, my heart is really just overflowing. And my heart is really, really, really overflowing. And it has been all day, really. That's the fourth beautiful conversation I had today. Outside of just like, as far as like with people. Because the first person I spoke to today was God. Every day I open my eyes, the first thing I say is, happy whatever day, God. Literally. So today I open my eyes and I say, happy Friday, God. And that's just me thanking God, you know, for allowing me to be a part of that day. If you haven't seen, what's it called? The newest Planet of the Apes movie. It's so good for so many reasons. I didn't see any of the Planet of the Apes movies until 2020. I remember this had to be late 90s, I imagine. Late 90s. Between late 90s and early 200s. And a Planet of the Apes movie had come out. This is when I was really young. My parents were married. And I remember my dad and my brother were watching it. I don't know if my mom was watching it too, but I know my dad and my brother were for sure. And I didn't want to watch it because I felt scared of it. And so, or either I was afraid of it or I was just not interested. I still don't watch scary movies. Not that that was a scary movie, but when I was a kid, anyway, I used to have bad nightmares. I still have dreams, very vivid dreams, you know, nightmares sometimes, things like that. But I recognize certain things differently now. But anyhow, Planet of the Apes, the newest one is like the King of the Planet of the Apes, or Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, if I'm not mistaken, which is a kind of a long working title. But anyhow, it's such a beautiful movie because the main character endures so much like catastrophic, tumultuous stuff. And in the midst of all of those things, his integrity is consistent. His heart is consistent. His will is consistent. His mission is evolving throughout those, you know, incidences, but it's consistent. And it's so beautiful. And all of what he endures, and not that the other characters aren't enduring things too, but all the things that he endures is so purposeful. And I was watching it. I've watched it many times, but I was watching it, and so I was watching it, and with my dad one time, and I told him, I said, it's like watching a documentary, because when I tell you the last, I don't even say how long anymore, it's just like the last while now, as everybody, the things that I've been going through, and even the things I dealt with growing up and got through growing up, I tell people, I don't carry everything that I've been through, and I don't look like everything that I've been through. And that's a miracle in and of itself. But it felt like watching a documentary, because for me personally, and it's something that I'm working through and learning through. Me and my best friend FaceTimed on Sunday, I want to say. Yeah, that was Sunday. And she was just reminding me, as she's done in the past, that that there is community still, and that there is always support and all those things. And even though I know that, like, over the years, that's always been consistent, and proven to be true, it's still a reality that I am yet finding my footing in and learning how to be comfortable in, and things, how to exist in. Because sometimes it's like I'll just get real quiet and really, really to myself, and kind of just isolate, and like even responding sometimes, or engaging or what have you, can seem, up until this point, I'll say, has seemed very overwhelming at times, because there's so much going on. Just like what she was saying before, Paula Herlock, in the one of the clips of the series of videos in this YouTube video, which is called dun, 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 dun. Oh, come on. Well, it just froze weird. Oh, here we go. Let me button. So it's called Five Truths About Spirituality, Life, Mental Health, and Self-Love. I mean, excuse me, self-love, and then I don't know what the and is after, what's after the title. Oh, and relationships you need to know. And this is on I Never Knew TV, with Paula Herlock. But anyhow, um, what was I just? Get the part. I don't know. Anyway, happy Friday. May you have a beautiful day. May you continue to have a beautiful day. Um, May you continue to walk in the will of God in whatever way that is expressed and interpreted, and expressed through you, and interpreted from you to you. However you tune in with that, continue. May you continue to walk in exactly who you are and who you were called to be. May you have beautiful interactions and conversations, exchanges, experiences, relationships. May you command your day. And even if today didn't feel the greatest, a lot of today, maybe today you were in a funk, or maybe something was really on your mind, or you felt down, or you felt discouraged, or whatever that may have felt like for you, that was outside of what has already been provisioned for you, and it says God has not given us a spirit of fear. So any of those derivatives, whether it be shame, guilt, confusion, stress, whatever, low frequency, low vibration, low energy, things that are not demure, whatever that may have been, may you command the remainder of your day. May you be authentic. May you honor yourself in every space, around every person, in every interaction. May you honor and acknowledge who you were called to be in your absolute fullness. May you be courageous. And as I say these things, and I not even say these things as I share these things, I say these things to myself also, because having those gentle reminders is sometimes I've heard some things from some of these master teachers. I've heard some of the most beautiful, profound, so many different things, so much context, so many amazing knowledge shares that I've been in the company of. And still, I hear something that's a gentle reminder, and it's so simple, and it's like, duh. Sometimes I might forget to meditate, and then somebody mentions it, or even breathing. That's one thing I love about yoga, going to yoga and things. Sometimes, like, or even meditation, when you have like a guided meditation or yoga, or even a conversation, or a person, or a friend, whatever, that just reminds you to breathe. Because sometimes, one time, one of my babies, she was talking to me and she was talking so fast. And sometimes when I get excited and when I'm really passionate about something, I can go so fast and then it's like, oh wait, and this and this and this, and then so many sparks will be going off and I'm like, oh, and then I forget where I started. It's like, crap, where was I going with that? Because I'm so excited and passionate about whatever it is that I'm sharing. And so just like now, oh, again, that reminder to breathe, when you just take a moment to just return to your, not to just, but when you take a moment intentionally, consciously, to be present and return to the breath and just, one time she was talking to me so fast and I told her, I'm listening to you. I'm listening. And for me to fully hear, like I can keep up for sure, but I couldn't keep up at the moment with what, because it was so many things and it was so sporadic. And I said, I'm listening to you. You have my full attention, and I genuinely am interested in what you have to say. And she took a breath. And sometimes when people are not accustomed to being heard, like, not that I'm not accustomed to being heard, but sometimes I'm like, I love to learn. And I get so excited with learning. And it's always been that way. School was my favorite growing up. For the most part, some of my, every once in a while I have teachers that were just like, oh, this was not the profession that you were called to. You're forcing it. But anyway, today has been a beautiful day. I allow it to continue to be a beautiful day. And yeah, a snippet that I heard yesterday from one person and then was reiterated in a conversation today was about like in the beginning of the day, praying, meditating, setting intentions, saying affirmations, whatever, writing it out, but was putting yourself in position to walk through your day and respond to your day and react in this like harmonious dance to like call and response with your day, with gratitude and wisdom. He mentioned wisdom, controlling what you can control, releasing what is outside of that control, and what you can control is yourself. You can't control somebody else. You can't control how people drive on the road. You can't control how other people show up, how people interpret you. Yeah. It's not even gonna be like a bob tomorrow. It'll be more like just pushed over. But yeah. You can control yourself. And so however you do that, maybe it's by drinking more water, maybe it's by going outside and getting some sun and grounding your feet, maybe it's reading a book, maybe controlling yourself is refraining from being reactionary. Controlling yourself can be making a smoothie or having some tea or fasting or meditating or whatever it is. I'm not going to go through this super long list because this is already longer than I was intending. Actually, I didn't know how long this was going to be, for one, but for two, it was just, I just allowed it to flow, and it's so beautiful that the exchange, yet again, another beautiful exchange of today. And, oh, that's what I was saying before. Planet of the Apes. My mom bought it on Amazon Prime Video for like $20 a few weeks ago. And so I went over her house and she was like, yeah, I bought it, blah, blah, blah. And then when I ended up getting home, I ended up looking on there and I said, Ma, it's on Hulu. Is it on Hulu? Yeah, but it's on Hulu for free. Like, what the heck? Well, if you pay for their membership or whatever. But I'm like, that's crazy. She had just bought it on her thing for like $20, which was so crazy. But it's a beautiful, beautiful movie. And just so many messages in the movie about law and universal laws and integrity and community and being a visionary, being courageous about what you see, being courageous about the things, the knowledge that you have and that you learn and that you acquire. And anyway, this can be a whole nother, however long this is, because I'm sure this was already super long, so I'm not going to keep going because you mentioned one thing and then something else. Anyway, happy Friday. May you have a beautiful day. And happy Virgo season to all the Virgos. But happy Virgo, happy Virgo season. See y'all.